Hey there, it's 3 o'clock on a Tuesday. We all know what that means. Another riveting episode of Behind Breaking Bond. Introduce yourself.
Hey, Andy Kahn. What am I? Crime Stoppers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am today. Crime Stoppers. Not product placement, but if you want to send me Gatorade, feel free.
Introduce yourself.
Doug Griffith, President of the Houston Police Officers Union, looking for a sponsorship.
He will take free monsters.
Absolutely.
No, just got some really tragic news about the 11-year-old girl in Polk County. They've apparently found her remains. And you were talking earlier about something to.
So when you go back and you look at the person of interest, which I'll go out on a limb since I've been around a long time and figure he'll probably end up being charged with murder and any other thing that happened.
McDougal.
So the McDougal guy, if you look at his criminal history, you got multiple convictions in Harris County, Brazoria County, Liberty County, and probably elsewhere there we haven't found. But the one in Brazoria County was really disturbing to me because it was enticing a child. It was attempted indecency with a child, and it was pled down. And the language in the documents are extremely sexual in nature, and this was an underage minor female. And then you come to find out that offense is one of the you don't have to register as a sex offender.
How can that be?
Hey, it's glitches. You and I've made a career out of finding
That's true.
glitches in the system.
So what's your plan?
So my plan is I'll contact local state representatives and state senators. And actually what I'll do is I'll reach out to the representative in the Polk County, because that state representative and state senator should get first dibs, and why they haven't done it by now is whatever. I guess my political instincts are maybe a little bit finer tuned on this, because this should be a no-brainer.
Right.
And we'll name it after,
Have you seen this happen before?
with young girls going missing, or
No, where you have this kind of charge, conviction, and the person doesn't have to register as a sex offender.
not in this case. I mean, we've seen obviously, a lot of lapses or judgments in criminal justice system with offenses, particularly with deadly weapons and so forth. But this is the first time I've run into an offense where it's fairly obvious it's sexual in nature. It's obvious that the victim was an underage female, and then come to find out, whether or not that would have made a difference, God only knows. But at the very least, the people in the community would have known, and the school would have known.
And that's the whole reason for having the database, so people can check and see if there's someone like that in their neighborhood, in their community.
Correct. This is the kind of thing that just pisses us off as law enforcement, because obviously there was an issue. Obviously this guy had been handled for some type of offense involving sexual behavior in a minor. At that point, I don't care what it is. We have to get him in the sex offender registry. We have to find a way. We can't have them going to our schools every day, dropping kids off or picking kids up.
Right.
Because it's for a pedophile like that, it's temptation.
Yeah.
And obviously he was tempted over and over and over, and he finally acted out. I'm just saying, in Polk County, they need to seek the death penalty in that clown and let justice fall where it may.
There's a reason we have the death penalty in the state of
That's
Texas.
right.
And this young girl's death is exactly why we have that penalty.
Today, it's switching gears. Today is the first day of voting.
Is it?
Yes.
Did you vote?
Not today. I'm going to. Have you voted yet, Doug?
I'm in Fort Bend County, so no, I have not voted.
Oh,
yet.
okay.
Oh, you are so lucky, aren't you?
I am.
I used to
I
always
am.
say I live in Harris County, so I didn't have to vote in the city elections, and that was my saving grace.
And this is a lot of times I think people look at the primary like, well, you're not really picking a winner, a permanent winner, and it's not that important, but they are important races. And no matter who you want to win, please use the power and vote. We're voting on sheriff, and we're voting on DA,
And you
Congress.
can vote in any Democrat primary or Republican primary.
Right,
But you
right.
have to pick which one of the primaries you want to vote with. And whatever primary you decide you want to vote in, that doesn't prohibit you from voting for anybody in the general election.
Right,
People
yeah.
get confu- Well, if I vote in this primary, I can only vote for this party's candidates.
You don't,
Wrong.
right, that's right. And I think that really needs to be, well, you obviously just clarified it, but that really needs to be clarified a lot, I think, to people because they don't understand that. And it does seem like, well, if I voted in this party, I can't turn around and
You can cross over, you just can't, you can't do this both.
both parties.
Parties.
Yes.
Correct. You have to pick a party for the primary, and in general election, you pick for whoever you believe is best.
What did,
And that's the problem I have with a lot of these races is sometimes you don't get the chance to vote for the person that's best for the job
right,
because of whatever primary you're in. And you may have 5 Republicans over here that are in races that you want to pick 5 from. You may have a couple Democrats over here that you prefer over the other, but you can't vote in both. So
right.
it does make it difficult depending upon which party you're in. I am a very conservative person by nature.
Mhm.
I always have been, but I'm also less vote the person in that does the best job, period. I
Right.
don't care what's in front of your name, B, R, it
You don't
doesn't
go
matter.
by party.
I don't want to go by a party. I want to go
No.
who's best for the job,
Right.
period.
What did you think of the U of H poll that was released today?
Ooh, that was a
Sean
tough
Tier
one.
was really ahead of Kim Ogg.
Well, you got to understand, and I put a statement out today saying that I support Kim, and the reason is I've known her for 30 years.
Yeah,
When I was a rookie gang officer, she was a prosecutor with the DA's office in the gang division,
yeah.
and she taught me how to build these cases against violent offenders.
She knows her stuff. There's
She
no
does
doubt
know her
about
stuff.
it.
I believe that when she first got in office, she may listen to the wrong people, but I think she's coming around seeing. And part of the issue is once you go after your own party, once you find some crooked activity in your own party and you do your job, then they turn against you.
Yeah, yeah.
And
blackballer,
that's
yeah.
what happened. Take a look. Look, we invited Sean Tier to come speak with us from the union standpoint.
Did he come?
No show.
Really?
He told us he would be there. No show, no call, no text, no nothing. Instead, he was over getting an endorsement from Sylvester Turner, the former mayor, whose right-hand guy is about to start a year in federal prison because of corruption. Then he's got Rodney Ellis. Where's that African art from?
Is
I
that the
wonder.
first
How
time
about
a
Lena? Lena's got
candidate
issues.
from the district attorney's office
Did that?
I would imagine that prominent candidates, that's something you would want.
Yeah, I'm going to assume so.
Well, last Tuesday, Kim was on here and, she basically laid out to folks why she wanted to remain the DA. I've reached out to Rocky, Sean Tier's campaign guy.
Rocky's a cool name. I'll give
I
it.
know, right?
I mean, you can't, that,
And-
Rocky Wallace reporting.
Yeah. And I'll tell you straight out, do I agree with everything Kim has done? Absolutely not.
Right,
She's had issues as well, but she's had the intestinal fortitude to step up for what she believes is right.
right,
And I can respect that.
yeah,
And I'm hoping that if Sean is elected, that he has the ability to do that as well.
well, and we have one more Tuesday, and,
did you hear back on anything?
No, I think he's going to pull the Joe Biden and not say anything to
Did
anybody.
you, Randy? I mean,
no,
Not even a.
I've had
not even a
one-
courtesy response.
no, we had one I talked
Okay.
to Rocky on the phone, and it was like, yeah, we'll work something out. And then from then on out, it was, I'm texting him. I may have got one, I'm in a meeting, I'll call you, never got a call.
Okay. I also sent out
Yeah,
text and never received a response. And, like I said, the invitation is always here. I don't know why you wouldn't want to sit down and have a good conversation.
Well,
About-
that was my whole thing.
Right.
If you tell us you're going to come and interview with us, you're going to have to work with our agency. We have the largest agency in Harris County that's going to bring you the most business for the next 4 years.
yeah,
But instead you go with a former mayor? Really? I mean, I just haven't, at least call me and give me a heads up.
right,
Text me something. I've known Sean for a couple of years now.
yeah.
All you got to do is give me a shout. Didn't want to do that.
Oh, I've interviewed
So-
the man many times. I know him too. And this is the thing that, okay, Kim was here last week. If Sean, thought, well, this is going to be some hatchet job on me, he could look at Kim's. Kim sat there for 15, 20 minutes. She answered our questions, but she didn't say anything bad about him. She just told everybody, this is why I want to continue to be the DA. This is what I'm going to do for you. And Sean would have has the same ability to do that if he wants to do
And
it.
this is my problem. He hasn't told us a plan of action. Tell us what you want to do with the office. How are you going to make it better?
Right.
Instead, all he's done is attack Kim and talk about who his endorsements are. I don't care who the hell your endorsements are.
Right.
And I really don't give a crap that it's Rodney Ellis, Lena Hidalgo, or Mayor Turner. I don't. They've all got criminal history issues.
Okay.
Well,
I call them like I see them.
on
Yeah,
a,
you do. You do.
on a positive note,
Yes.
so, people in Harris County, and I've said this ad nauseum, you can yell and scream all you want, but the opportunity is here for you to voice who you want as your district attorney, who you want as your
That's
numerous
right.
judges, races.
Yes.
And we've, in our role here, we've had numerous Democrat judicial candidates
Yes.
sitting here in front of us. So if there's a perception that, oh, they're a bunch of, right wing or whatever, we've had a lot of Democrat candidates who ran for felony district court judge who are actually now on the bench.
Yes, that's correct.
And doing a good job.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like you. I've never really gone the party route. I look at the person, and it's okay if I'm kind of following what they're saying and I think, yeah, that's the road to take, I'm going to vote for you. Or if you've been in office and you've done a good job, I'll vote for you again.
Absolutely. Again, we got to stop getting past the D's and the R's and start putting people in place
Right.
who can do the job and do it effectively.
Yeah.
I don't care. But there's some out there that can't get past that. The far right, the far left, they can't get their head out of their backside long enough to realize we got to do something to fix this country. We got to do something to fix this city.
And look how we're becoming as a country. Before, decade or two ago, you could have Thanksgiving dinner and you could disagree with, Aunt Susie about who the president is, and everybody would eat and get along and it would be fine, right? Now people are so divided, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, people will like give up relatives over politics. Well, you don't think so-and-so should be president? Well, don't come to Thanksgiving anymore.
I've got very good friends that are on the very liberal side. Well, y'all know one of them, St. John, St. John. He's in California now.
He's a friend.
I consider St. John a friend. And I jack with him unmercifully. But again, we can have differences of opinion on politics and still be friends.
Right,
The problem is you got some that can't get past that.
right.
Oh, if you're a Republican, I hate you. If you're a Democrat, I hate you. That's just ignorance.
It is.
That is full-blown
And
ignorance.
that's why I was thinking about changing my name to none of the above. If I change my legal name to none of the above,
You'd hold some office, wouldn't you?
I'm telling you right
You'll get
now.
voted in somewhere.
Right. What was the race where somebody, they changed their name or,
Okay, this is a great, and I love telling this story. It was 1996. It was a Court of Criminal Appeals race. And there was two Republicans running in the primary for an open seat. One of them was a man by the name of Steve Mansfield. The other was a very well-respected attorney, former prosecutor named Kathy Harasmachuk. Steve Mansfield had zero credentials, but God, what a cool sounding name.
Yeah.
Who do you think won?
better than hers, right?
People overwhelmingly voted for Mansfield over Harasmachuk.
Yeah.
So Kathy Harasmachuk, the next election cycle, ran again. Only this time she ran under her maiden name, which was Kathy Cochran.
Oh, wow.
Kathy Cochran easily won a
Yes.
position on that.
That's
So
funny.
I love telling that story because that tells you the mentality of people that look at the ballot and they don't have a clue.
And they just pick a
Yeah,
name, which
wow,
name they
that's a
like
great
better,
name.
but at least they'll vote. It's a.
Well, I'd rather you not vote if you're not educated on the stuff. I'm sorry. Stay home.
Right. no
Stay
problem.
home because you've got to do your research.
Yeah.
Know a little something when you walk in that voting booth. Know who you're voting for. If you don't know the people involved and you haven't done your research, don't vote in that race
Yeah.
because you could be hurting a good candidate.
Right.
When you
Educate
guys
yourself.
screen candidates, what do you exactly?
How do you do that?
We bring them in and we have a political action committee. We set them down and we ask legitimate questions that affect our members and our organization. And the entire reason the organization didn't make an endorsement of the DA's race is because, one, we didn't talk to Sean, but number two, we have pending cases right now with some of our officers in that court. I did not feel it was appropriate that we support anyone at that point if we have pending cases in the DA's office.
That makes
Because
sense.
it looks like if we're supporting Sean, we're asking him to drop cases. If we're supporting Kim, we're asking her to drop
Yeah.
it. That's not
You
accurate
can't win.
It's the
whatsoever.
opposite of what, like County Judge Hildago
Absolutely.
who's obviously endorsing, Sean Tier, but she had former staffers that are now.
Correct.
Right.
I think that's a conflict of interest, and that's why, as an organization, we have supported both Republicans and Democrats and independents.
Yeah.
Because we want, again, who's best for the job and who's going to be best for our organization. Not who's best for me,
Right.
not who's best for this officer or that officer, who's best for the organization.
As a whole.
And that's what we live by. That's why I believe we are one of those covenant endorsements in the city.
Yeah.
Because we are very careful in who we support. Now, are there people that we support that lose? Absolutely. But it's very slim margin.
Yeah. But in a lot of ways, you do a lot of the homework and research for people, and they can get an idea, like going to your
Absolutely.
website, saying who you all are endorsing. And
HPAU.org.
yeah.
We have our endorsements on the website, easy to find. Again, you're going to find Republicans and Democrats on there, maybe even an independent or two, because we do our homework before we buy them in.
Yeah.
And we ask the hard questions.
Right.
Because there's some people that come to us and we're just like, whoa, that's way too progressive on the left or the right.
Sure.
So, we think, may not want to endorse that candidate.
And when it comes to criminal justice, I think that's what we're starting to see. Some of this really kind of, I'd call it progressive, way out there, kind of a mentality of where let's not lock anybody up and right?
Correct. There's an agenda out there that says we shouldn't be locking people up, that all crimes should be handled in a different manner.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, there's just some evil people out there.
Yes.
There's only one way to deal with someone evil like that, and that's to lock them up.
Yes.
And we have others that are just going to continue to prey on our community. They're going to prey on our elderly. They're going to prey on the weak. They're going to prey on children. We have to lock those individuals up, if nothing else, just to help society as a whole to heal. Because we can't. Look at these shootings. Look at what we're going through right now across this country.
Yeah.
And it's all, you can look at every bit of it. I go back to corporal punishment in schools. I used to get pops if I got in trouble at school.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen anymore. What happens in the schools? There is zero respect for some of those instructors in those schools.
Yeah.
Some of them are there because they just want to do the right thing.
Well,
and be
when
the
I
right-
was in school, if I got in trouble, the last thing I would do is go home because I'd get in trouble again.
Nowadays, it's not little Johnny's fault.
Right. It's the
It's not.
teacher's
Yeah, it's
fault.
the teacher's
Yeah.
fault. They're being mean to my kid.
That's what it is.
Now, are there some teachers that shouldn't be teachers? Absolutely.
Right.
Are there cops that shouldn't be cops? Absolutely. Are there preachers that shouldn't be preachers? Absolutely. But again, you weed out the bad, you work with the good, and you do what's best for your organization.
That's correct.
What do you think of the new code words that we're seeing being given to the quote, you can't say the word offender, you can't say felon. I learned that, if I say convict, I'm going to be tarred and feathered. So there's two new choice words now that we're using. It's called system impacted individuals or justice impacted individuals.
System
So I
impact.
can't go old school and call my turd anymore. I need to know these things before I get in trouble.
You certainly can, but I noticed these code words that are being used.
System
now.
impact.
Yes, system impacted
I've been
individual.
impacted by the system.
I am a system impacted individual. Speaking of system impacted individuals, what do we got tonight?
On tonight's Breaking
We have a
Bond,
big
it's
system.
one of these where you look at this guy and you think, why is anybody letting him out on bond after bond after bond? A habitual offender, been to prison a couple of times. I mean, the man is a mess. And
Can you say that anymore?
I don't,
He's
he's system impact. He's a system impacted mess. That's what he is.
Mess. He's been out on multiple bonds. He's also got pending cases in other
Counties.
counties. But you'll be happy to know that he recently flied to friendly skies despite having a curfew.
Yeah, he gets on a plane and flies to Miami when he's not supposed to even leave the state. That'll be on tonight's Breaking Bond. Be sure to tune in and watch, and be kind to yourself and everyone else. Thank you for watching.